welcome to our line after dark. Also, don't panic. We are inside. We are not in the RV right now because the RV is about to go get fixed. So, don't worry about it. We're just inside. Let's get started, shall we? Ooh, before I get started, welcome to the Igloo, Jonathan's Gamecast. You came in between streams. Sure is cold out there. Glad you dropped by. Okay, let's get started here. I won't need my mouse, I don't think. Also, someone yell in chat if something explodes, because this game is full screen and does not have a window mode. I'm just going to take off this ear so it doesn't bother me. Okay. I guess current route, Eld Canarsie. Loading. Loading, says video game. I don't know how to play. Do not expect big things from this, from my scores or anything tonight. I can either... I've never played this before, and I am notoriously bad at rhythm games, but I love them anyway. Uh, okay. Perfect 50, good 46. I missed 16, though. At least we got a high score. So let's go back. What are the controls? Hang on. Let's go back and see if we can look at the controls, because all I knew is I was hitting Z there. Tutorial. There we go. That's probably what I needed the whole time. Welcome to our line after dark. In this game, you'll be picking up and dropping off passengers to the music. You see a person pop up, pick them up with the Z key, and make sure it's in time with the music. Give it a try. So do we just pick people up? Nice, now let's practice picking up and dropping off passengers. To drop off a passenger seat, press the X key when you see an arrow. So, game loading. Okay, so it's Z is people, X is arrow. In drop-off express mode, instead of pressing X, press arrow keys in the direction the arrow is located on the track. So I need the arrow keys, Z and X. I feel like I play this with a controller. Can I plug in a controller and play this? I feel like this would be easier on a controller. Who knows? Alright, let's go. I agree. Let's go. Oh, I have to hit the arrow keys in the direction. That's all there is to it there. You'll be a fine train driver in no time, says. Okay. Mode pickup, mode drop off, express. Let's not play express mode because that was immediately aggravating my hand. So let's stick to Z and X here and see what we can do. Let's see how we can do on score here. Let's get started. Seems like a really interesting like minimalist rhythm game. I'm curious to see how I can do on these charts. Also very much enjoying the soundtrack. Okay, so these are like difficulty levels. So essentially, to my eye, the pickup only mode is easy mode. You just have to hit the button in time. Drop off is middle difficulty. You switch between Z and X. And last but not least is express mode where you have to hit Z and then the appropriate arrow. Interesting. Interesting. Let's switch back to just pickup because I'm not particularly proficient at this game. Maybe we'll bump up the pickup and drop off, which I was doing okay, but not the best. Let's move on to a second track here. This is just Z, everyone remember. We're playing on easy mode to learn the tracks. Are they all circular? I like the kind of I don't know if this is necessarily analog synth, but it's very synth heavy. Okay, I'm rushing those beats there. Friendly reminder, these are all sight reads. I have never touched this game before now. Well, duh, 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 duh. This feels like a less aggressive version of the bit trip or line tracks or art style light tracks is what I'm looking for. Uh, soundtrack. Very, very simple. I would comfortably describe it as an analog synth type sound, but I'm also not, a connoisseur of soundtrack choices. Not bad for a sight read. No misses, at least. Let's try this next one. Okay, so they're all circular. It's just all about timing. I really like the aesthetic of this game. It's very, very minimalist. And I feel like it's got, it has the traditional depth one would expect from a rhythm game. Custom charts would open this game up so much. Also adjacent here is much more directly sound-wise, I would say, is Earthcade is the album I'm thinking of. R32X is the artist that's in my brain. Who has a Bandcamp? I wonder if this game's soundtracked on Bandcamp or if it's something you have to go get from itch.io. Because this is pretty good. These are good tunes. Pattern I just hit there, I tended to miss a lot in this chart. Very interesting. Missed a few there, but not bad at all. All right, let's see what the last song is like here. This is fun. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. And I wonder, is this, it makes me wonder, is this based on, are these melodies that came to the developer of this game at on a specific route or something? Are these supposed to be representative of real subway lines? I really appreciate the feedback coming from whenever you hit that little thud. That little kick when you nail a note. It's a nice touch of feedback. Maybe modify the kick for for how close you are with a note, because I just hit you saw there, that was the same. It was the same kick every time, even if I missed or hit a note. Maybe applying a filter of some kind to the kick each time based on what type of note you are hitting would really add to that sort of feedback feel, maybe. Uh, that's a very small change. Overall, the game feel in this is very pleasant. Again, I'm wondering if I can plug in a controller. Let's hit back. I'm gonna see if I can just plug in a controller here real quick. And we'll see if I can just hit like 2 buttons on the controller. And or like even just hit 1 button on the controller and use the analog stick or even the D-pad as a way to oh, that's definitely plugged in. That had power the other night. Hang on. 1 moment. There we go. Currently only one of those USB ports are plugged in. I'm gonna restart the game real quick with a controller plugged in and see if it recognizes it. So nobody panic. Yes, controller is set up and ready to go. I see that. Let's see if we open it with a controller, if we can play with a controller. So it's a Unity game. So it could have controller support. It doesn't, though. It doesn't seem to, anyway. Well, I guess I'll have to run this through another program if I want to play it on a controller. Unfortunate. Very fun concept, though. And I'm very much enjoying it. Now let's see what we can do now that we have had a little bit of time with easy mode. Let's jump to pick up drop off mode, ZX, and see what we can do on this first track until I'm good and proper used to switching between buttons to playing, a 2-hit control instead of just 1 on beat. Then once I've got a good handle on does Unity have a controller library? I got my X and Z backwards there several times. I'm getting this backwards a surprising amount of the time. Z, X, 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 Z, X, Z, X, Z. Why did I miss both of those? I was... Hmm. I'm glad this gives you a kind of wide input window because Unity, rhythm games in Unity have a built-in, like some volume of built-in latency from them, interacting with control and audio through a library layer. So I really wish I could play this with a controller. Let's see what the other controls are like because I think hitting Z and X is making my fingers a little annoyed too. What are the other options here? Settings. Secondary. Space to pick up. Return to drop off. WASTA. space and enter would be a lot more intuitive to me, I think. I'm also going to set the controller on my lap, I think, provided I'm at a good angle here. If I'm sitting back here, I'm at a good angle, right? Oh, Steam has turned on. Hang on. Oh, that was just because I plugged in a controller and it was like, hello, you plugged in a controller. Alright, I'm gonna try space and enter and see if that makes it a little easier. Okay, now let's see what we can do here. Like I said, luckily the tracks in this are pretty catchy, pretty listenable. So I don't mind listening to this same song again. Really appreciate that build up. Oh, this is much easier. Oh, I'm getting them backwards. No. It's definitely, it feels like it makes it easier, but I'm also, this lied. I expected sandwiches, not underground trains. I thought this was a rhythm game about eating fresh. Oh, I can't believe they've done this to us. There's no eating fresh occurring here at all. Happy to have you here. Appreciate the chat. Let's try this chart one more time. I'm getting my lefts and rights here mixed up. But this is a simple little rhythm game. I'm enjoying it. These are quite good. Okay. Getting them backwards. I keep so there's one key for the pickup and one for the drop off, if that's not obvious, and I keep getting my hands backwards. My eating is less fresh. Also hope you're doing well this fine evening. Won't be able to stick around. It's a long day at work, but I have to be early again tomorrow. Wanted to pop by and say hi. I really appreciate you popping in and saying hi. Uh, yeah. I feel like this game. I feel like. Oh, first of all, you didn't reinitialize your menu here. It said pick up, and then I hit right, and it jumped over to drop off express. Uh, I keep getting my hands backwards because one button in this mode, one button is pick up a person, the little people icon, and the other button is the little exit arrow, drop someone off. and I keep getting them backwards. It's not so bad when there's runs of the same kind of note, but when they alternate very quickly, beat to beat right next to each other, I get wrinkled. Let's try another track. See if it gets any easier. But I think there's room to expand in this game. I think you could benefit a lot from, like I said, tuning the hit sounds to tell whether you're hitting or missing. Maybe include like a hi hat hit for when you get the notes uh, on the right beat, but the wrong uh, button, just like that. If the 0 for the high score did not make it abundantly clear, I am sight reading these, so don't expect perfection. But these are fun. These are fun, like kind of short ambient synthy things going on, and it's very simplistic controls, which helps my brain. Defaults to restart, so you can keep grinding those good scores. But see there, what just happened? The menu was visually on pickup, and then I hit right, and I jumped to drop off express. So that's a little visual bug. You probably just forgot to update the screen based off of a stored variable or something. You probably stored the variable in code, but you did not update the carousel to have it centered. See how 6th Brooklyn Bridge there on the right is highlighted? They tried to implement menu memory, but they didn't have the menu scroll with the memory, is what I'm guessing happened. So if I hit right here and it jumps to the 3rd track, I will be, I think, onto something. See there? Very small bug. I might write that down, actually. Let me write that down real quick. The menu visually resets first option, causing a little wrinkle on the scroll when you first come back. Come back to the menu after after a track. I just had to write that down so I wouldn't forget it. Let's, you know what? Let's try Drop Off Express. Maybe my fingers will get less confused. In this one, hang on. Oh, wait, no. I didn't need to hit back. I could have just hit start. Oh! Oh, the main menu does the opposite. it shows the correct cursor position, but then you hit right and it jumps back to 1. So now it's Wasta for drop-offs and square for pickups. Yeah, their menu initializer is all bent out of shape. It doesn't it either doesn't increment something or doesn't check coming back, something along that line. I would have to see the code to tell you in specific, but it wouldn't be it shouldn't be too bad to fix. It's also the type of thing that like you wouldn't necessarily catch in testing it yourself, but after it gets out into the world, you go, "Oh, I forgot to fix that," or "How didn't I catch that?" type thing. So this mode, you have to pay attention to the direction of the arrows, which weirdly I think I'm finding a little easier. I say and then whip a bunch of notes. Surprised it gave me that because I hit the pickup button at the same time as the arrow, but it still gave me the note and it didn't break my combo. Which I almost wonder, or maybe it was counting a miss at the same time as the perfect? That's a good question. Um, Having maybe an option to have the note counters off to the right or left side of the screen might be nice. Um, But then again, that might not work well for maybe, let's say, if this is in a mobile format, because it's a Unity game, right? So you can put it in mobile. It seems like it's very well formatted to, you know, have the main core of the game is letterboxed, right? And so maybe you swipe left to bring a person in on mobile and swipe right to drop a person off on mobile. Is just a thought. That's a guess. Maybe that's why it's shaped that way. Maybe it's not. Either way, this game is really good so far. Honestly, I've been having a good time. Like I said, the soundtrack is okay. So see how I'm highlighting mode right now? We were in drop off express, so if I hit left, we should go to drop off. But we're highlighting pickup. See there? So let's go back down to easy mode so I can maybe talk. We were on this track, and it's the first track, so we had it selected anyway. Let's pick up track number 2 again. So this is just hit space on time. This should be easy. Should being the operative word. See how it's kind of like there's almost like it's almost letterboxed on either side. I do like the way that that background, like there's just kind of a slow. There's a series of other buses doing their things, other subway trains doing their things. Like visually, I can immediately tell if I missed, if I was close, or if I was dead on by the like exclamation point or the squiggle or the X, which I just accidentally demonstrated really well. But these are really good. The kind of I'm always a sucker for like a simple, you know, slow moving synth drone with a wandering melody like that's occurring right now. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. It's at least a high score. Let's try this one more. This track one more. Uh, I almost wonder if you would be like. So first of all, there's early, but there isn't late, which feels a little weird. Um, I guess it kind of makes sense in the theming of the game, but coming from a traditional rhythm game standpoint, that feels a little strange. Maybe, uh, maybe change the name of early to close. Then that would get kind of where's the late out of my brain personally. Uh, Sorry, I'm giving like little development tips here, but I'm just like I really like the concept of this game and I think it's doing things very well and now I'm like what would I do if I were developing if I were coming in as an outside developer and be like and you know polishing this. There's little polish changes I'm noticing that could do. I love this background by the way, the little like kind of starfishy looking things floating into the screen. Very, very fun. I like it. And I like the aesthetically this game is very very good. The music for this game is very very good, which you know that's kind of a given for most rhythm games, but it's still very good. Um, you know, this kind of like very simple, not necessarily simple, but like methodical bass line. Also, I didn't know this was going to be circular. I thought each track was going to have a different. Oh, I missed. Also, I spoke too soon on the kick drum feedback note not changing. If you miss a note, it is very slightly detuned, which you couldn't hear because I was talking. Like I said, I was expecting this to kind of be from the perspective of like a whole subway line rather than just a circle, which a circle is the sort of like uh, angled square thing that's going on here is a great way to like abstractly represent the you know cyclical nature of a bus route. But I was expecting, you know, sorry, and I keep calling these bus routes. They're supposed to be subways, but they're the idea of a bus route and a subway line looking the way that this does has kind of crossed over in my brain. Um, but maybe add like see I'm of two minds about that because it has the little detune. And I'm like, oh, should you use like a hi-hat hit for close or good or close or good? Maybe you could do. So I have two thoughts here. Perfect, the kick plays correctly, right? Good, you or actually, what if we did that the other way around? Perfect, you would get a good and a hi-hat. Uh, Good, you just get the kick. Early, you get like a detuned hi-hat and then misses when you get the detuned kick, that would maybe form an association very quickly, and you could get that force feedback so much so that you could even play this game with your eyes closed. Just a thought. Definitely, that's not the only way you can approach it. Let's do this track one more time. I'm really liking this track. I'm also getting closer and closer to a really good score on this, I think. Also really like the note of there being 4 dots on each side of the square circle here. 4 is very easy to count to musically, so you can kind of get a sense of where you are and where the beats go. Completely missed that triplet. But I was also being quiet during. So you might be able to hear there how the kick drum is actually detuned a little bit. Or maybe it's muffled. Either way, it is audibly different. Also, I wanna reiterate, like, me also I love that it leaves the circle after the track ends. Very fun detail. I want to reiterate, I'm calling out a bunch of things like, oh, you could change this, you could change that. I'm calling out these things because I really like the way this game has come together, and I'm like, how would I polish this? This is not like this is not an angry like this could be better. Uh, but this is kind of a oh yeah, did the menu thing again. Um, let's pick up this last track, see what we can do. Um, like these comments are coming from a position of I really like what this game is doing. What if we did more? Type brain. I want to make that abundantly clear. Also, I was just making sure that there wasn't like an uh altered sound coming in on only one side because the right side of my headset right now only works at a specific angle and I need to fix it. Also, this chart's really hard to talk during. But these are really good tracks. I think they're very well written. They're very well played. Also, this little like chill like Doreen, Doreen. Very nice. Okay. Rather than sitting here and grinding on tracks all night, I think we may switch games. Give me just a moment here. I'm gonna quit out of this game. I'm gonna see if there's something else I want to play. Because there was something else in this vein of rhythm game train thing that I was really interested in playing. There's another rhythm game called Concentric. That could be fun. SounDodger, also a rhythm game. Let's pick up SounDodger, because I'm in a rhythm game mood tonight. If it comes up on the little game search, that is. If not, we will maybe try Concentric. I wish I could play Sound Voltex right now. That'd be fun. Just changing the title around. And then we will start up SounDodger, which I think I opened this one to check if I could play it. So that's fun. Let me add a capture here real quick. Specific window, SounDodger Plus. Come on. You're not gonna capture it? Oh, it's not gonna capture it. Well, that's inconvenient. Hmm. Maybe not. Huh. Maybe I don't get to play this one on stream. That's weird. It's really weird. Options, I guess. Let's do this and just have it capture any full screen application. This is a really pretty game. Oh, there it goes. Maybe if I put it in a window now, it will work. Excuse me. Can I put this in windowed mode now? Maybe. Who knows? The answer is no. It only captures in full screen. That's weird. Okay. Funky. Maybe that's just a particular deal with the, maybe that's just a peculiarity of the capture software I'm using right now. Who knows? Not me. That's who. Oh no. None of you could hear any of the music throughout that whole thing, could you? His system audio wasn't on. I had the individual audio captures on for each game. Well, we will go back and play we'll go back and play what's the word here? we'll go back and play our line, just through the tracks once each, right at the end of the stream. How's that sound? I don't remember the controls for this. Hopefully I don't get muted. Hopefully I don't get muted for playing this. We'll see. Oh, just arrow keys. Immediately fail. Oh no. Oh no, I didn't know this was a shoot 'em up. No. I would not have played this if I remembered this is what it is. This is a really fun concept, but oh, I'm very bad at this type of game, just generally. Oh, do I get bonus points for being in the green circle? I don't know. Fun concept, though. You know what this feels like? This feels like a Flash game. Like a particularly good Flash game. It has that vibe. Okay, so there are patterns occurring here. So, hold on a second, I don't really have everything. There are patterns occurring, as is tradition. Also, here. Oh, it's true. No. Wow, I'm really. Okay, so the school I think the center school determined, like, shows you how long the song is. Maybe. This would be much easier with the analog control. Can I plug in a controller? I was getting really close to the end there when I got hit. Will maybe. Oh my gosh, literally the last second feasible to get hit. Good grief. 71%. Turn this down. Autogen mode? Does this automatic? Oh, it automatically generates sound based on like music that I have? Oh, that's fun. Do I have anything that won't get me copyright striked? I mean, I have some royalty-free music. No, I lied. I'm not gonna do that. I am gonna turn it down a little bit though, because it's very loud. Hang on, I'm gonna set it to mono audio if I can. What's smooth listening, do you think? This is very, like, smoothly designed. Is there a way we put this in mono audio? What else are my visual settings? Show my... Show my hitboxes, absolutely. Visual effects. Yeah, we'll leave visual effects on. 60 FPS mode will not do anything. Just because we're streaming in 30. What's high contrast mode? Okay, let's play that second song. Oh, that does look a lot more high contrast. Click and hold for, oh no, click and hold for slow motion. Oh, I can move with the mouse instead of, oh, I can move with the mouse instead of the arrow keys. That is so much easier. Also, you think this color change is because of high contrast mode? Do you think it's per what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, one of the settings I did got rid of the rewind. Like that little thing that happened earlier when I messed up. I do like that. I'm probably going to leave high contrast mode on if that is what is causing this particular color scheme. I guess we could go back to the first track and find out pretty easily. Very fun. Oh, this is so much easier with like analog precision from the mouse. Like genuinely much easier. Oh, those follow me. Those are gonna do what when the beat drops? Nothing apparently. They're just gonna hang out there and be inconvenient. Okay. Whoa, okay. This is cool. Oh, this is super cool. Oh, this has no. I should have held still in that pattern. This is really fun. This reminds me of Just Shapes and Beats a bit, which I played the demo for at some point on stream. Oh, so I clicked on show hitboxes, and so now the circle has that change. Dang it. The circle looks different to show me where the hitbox is and where the hitbox isn't. This is fun. Also, this is a really good song. Dang it. Okay, let's fuss with the settings a little more. 90, that's pretty good. 2 new levels unlocked, apparently. Let's fuss with the settings a little bit. Let's leave... shows a dot that displays when you get hit. Let's not turn on the hitbox, because I like it to feel a little... Ooh, I made it! Turn on the visual effects. Visual effects, frame throttle. Forces a color difference between the game and background. Okay, so that did change things. Okay. Let's do a few more here. Oh no, so the color was, Zen mode. I assume Zen mode is just kind of go as you go, don't, oh.
Counting down to 0.
Oh, and then it auto-activated slow motion a little bit, I assume, is what that circle in the middle is. This has vocals, making me a little nervous about why vocals in particular is what made me go, oh no. Maybe I'm just used to, stuff that doesn't mind getting played in the background, not big vocals. We'll see. Following the little squares, follow me. And then the high contrast mode makes the squares have like depth thing. In addition to, I could have activated slow motion for that. I don't feel like I need it yet. I feel like these are all, in theory, dodgeable patterns. This is really fun. I like this a lot too.
Combing through fields and through beaches, trying to reach you, extending these zones out to
Also, wish I had noticed that I could play with the, like I said, this is clearly blatantly easier with the mouse. Because I'm able to talk through this chart. I mean, it's also kind of again, depends on where the chart, but it still rings true. It's so much easier to play when I can in a non-granular fashion. Oh, it does track the mouse outside the circle as we saw it in the trigger. See that? You can see when you dot in circles, let you know where your mouse is. Sure. That's why I turned the box off, otherwise it would be constantly calculating. I squeeze that. I prefer to thread the needle on that side. This is really fun. This is like a great concept. Also, I want to say R-Line is a really good concept too. If more tracks were possible for R-Line, I would really appreciate it. Or like maybe even just open up a user-created track tool. Because like you could probably just mark it like in a MIDI fashion on each beat, you know? This is called Kirko. I wonder why it's called Kirko. That makes me think of it in Grant Kirkhope. That's probably why. It's also kind of like it feels like we are descending deeper into the sound because of the circles marking things extending on the outside of the screen, which is very fun. I like how I was talking really coffee earlier, like I was playing super hard charts. This is like level 2 difficulty chart. I'm already like, oh, okay. Or like, maybe I should be careful. It's fun. I like this a lot. This is very like pleasantly visually stimulating as well. I'm not quite sure why that didn't get that did. Let me take those. Also, I know they're nothing alike, but maybe it's because these have all been kind of vaguely synthy and it's about dodging things. This is making me think of Super Hexagon, which is an entirely different class of game. This is really good. I like this. This, I feel like, because of the user-generated tracks feature, which I wonder if there's a limit on that. I wonder if I can drop in, like, Dimension X or something. sure there is like some kind of ideal pattern to hit for every one of these songs. Very, very fun. Super fun concept too. Alright, we skipped Catapult. Let's do it. Then maybe let's see what the Zen mode is like. This is very fun. This feels like this just feels like a game that it's very easy to like just sit here and zone out and play. You know, like not apply any particular Whoa, that's so cool. Sorry, I'm forever gonna be a sucker for when the chart like pauses for like certain holds and like scratches. Yeah, like that. That's so cool, and I wish DJ Hero would do that now. Like that effect there, where like certain things feel like they're running backwards from pitch. I walked right into that. I wish DJ Hero would do that. It's such a fun effect that it's DJ Hero so well. Speaking of DJ Hero, I need to get Clone Hero up and running and try playing with my DJ Hero turntable while I am here waiting for it to be fixed. Because like I don't bring that equipment. But I have one. There's a reason I picked R-Line after dark tonight, and it's because there's a reason I picked R-Line initially, and it's because I have a character that's being okay, question. I couldn't tell because of everything, but see this. Oh, that's cool. Then your score doesn't go up while you're doing that. That's cool. So is the circle in the middle like your total unhit time, or is it how much slow mode you have? Okay, this circle in the middle is your total unhit time, and using slow mode doesn't count as percentage points. Okay, let's see what Zen mode is like for Daisy Wheel here. Let's activate Zen mode. What's Zen mode do? Was Zen mode just like you take no damage mode? Okay, yeah, Zen mode is just you take no damage, but when you hit a projectile, it goes red to tell you it's been hit. Okay, so Zen mode is like turn your brain off mode, no consequences. Sight read. Like this is practice mode, you know. But we might go back to R-Line actually here in a few more, just to show you what the game is like with the sound on, because Large Brain over here turned the sound off on his streaming. I was so excited about the concept of individual audio capture. I was like, oh, now the stream doesn't have to hear all my system audio. Forgetting that this system does not have a lot of reason to output system audio. What that would be really good for is kind of a return to maybe Minecraft streams where there is music for me but not for you all. Would be kind of nice. I don't know how we feel about that. even just selectively mastering Minecraft's audio to make it much louder than, say, Dimension X. See, now that I brought up the idea of putting Dimension X in as a custom track, like, they're way too long. They're way too long to play reasonably, but I might do it off stream and, like, show you what it turns into. I wish you could, like, take, like a 30 to 50 second chunk of paper cuts and see what it does with, like, just a little chunk like that. Do I have just a small chunk of, like, paper cut style audio? I wonder somewhere. You know what else I could do is I could do some of my vinyl rips, because there's a lot of there's a good chunk of vinyl rips that's like stuff that no one has seen and like was never actually copywritten, you know, the type of thing. Like, it's like, oh yeah, it's some kind of, it's like some high school's choir concert from 1977, and so no one ever you know, there's no extant copyright. Okay, this is really fun. This is really fun. Let's go back to, we might come back to, oh, editor. Editor. You can design, oh. You can design charts too. There are user levels. Are there user levels for sounds that I'm... Huh. Fascinating. This is somewhat intro, isn't it? Anyway, back when... Huh. Okay, Leah. This is for sure safe, because it's a Kevin McLeod tune. Oh, Dance a Lotto. Huh. Oh, someone's mix on the Zelda 2 Palace theme. Fun. Also, apologies for the rapidly changing screens. Okay. Alright. Uh-huh. Oh. Oh no. Oh, this is so much harder than the charts I was just playing. Oh no, this is much harder than the charts I was just playing. And we're not like 5 to 10 seconds in this thing. Wow. I don't... Is there a way around some of these? There's like some definite... Heart? Okay, circles are not good. I don't think. Okay, this is introducing some mechanics that I do not know. Like, guaranteed. Want to hit the circles? I mean, they weren't killed. Also, I'm getting absolutely destroyed. This is not going to be a pretty score. Pretty well, but pretty good. You almost have to know what's coming recommend to use the slow motion, because then you like unplug slow motion and everything speeds back up. Big snap into your path. So these structures I can do. It's just like, oh yeah, find a little path between them. Any easier either. Oh, were they intangible during that vault? I think they were, because I didn't get hit by them. This is a little wild. This game would be a great one for me to like learn very thoroughly and then come play on stream, like kind of press the screen how good I am in the video game. Oh, I should have slowed those moments. Less wrong. Yeah, I'm just getting clipped by those. Perfect. I shouldn't have held still there. I would have had that. That's fascinating. 77% is pretty good, though. Alright. Yeah, let's back out of this. Yes, exit to desktop. That was fun, though. Let's flip back. You know what R-Line After Dark would have been great for if I'd have known how, like, the size of that game? R-Line After Dark would have been fantastic for a Frozen Tundra finds. Because, like, I was really starting to repeat stuff at the end there. Okay, now can you all hear the music that comes with this? It's a little quiet, but that's fine. I think we're still on Space Enter mode. We are not on Space Enter mode. Let me put it back on Space Enter mode. Also, the fact that Space and Enter work when they are not the chosen control options in the menus feels a little odd. But that's not that big of a deal. Let's do easy mode. And I'll just play through each of the easy mode charts so you all can hear them. Originally, my first thought was to generative synth, oscillators, control voltage and everything. But I'm just the guy. But it's the clock here is what making this all perform. Sequence even. Yeah, like you could hear now. These are pretty good. These are pretty good tracks, honestly. I really like the way they've written these. There's a very rich set of layers going on here. They're very fun, and it makes me wonder what a custom chart engine for this game would do. In theory, you know, these are each one, two, like you could pretty easily include like depending on how it works on the hood. Say let's say this works on video. You could say I have two MIDI files for one MIDI file for the background. And then one chart. Just have instrumentation. Have like the chart file be a MIDI file, and if it's, you know, note A, it's like let's say a square wave or something. If it's instrument A, it's people. If it's instrument B, it's a left-facing arrow. If it's instrument C, it's a right-facing arrow. If it's instrument D, it's an up-facing arrow. If it's instrument E, it's a down-facing arrow. That sort of thing. I'm not surprised we didn't get a high score on that one. We kind of grinded that chart a lot before we jumped to SounDodger there for a bit. But provided that's how it works under the hood, you could even just have one MIDI file for the chart, and because this doesn't have the force feedback of, you know, the whole song makes like noise when you mix. You could just have like an MP3 sound file for the chart, or an MP3 sound file for the background music that we're hearing now, and then a MIDI for the chart. That's all guesses. I don't know how this works under the hood, and I don't have decomp tools to tell you. You know, but I think this game in particular, I think it's onto something with the idea of, you know, 4 directional buttons and a 5th button. You know, at the highest difficulty, and I think the difficulty scaling is very intuitive. I think the difficulty scaling is very intuitive, and so I think this game has would have a very fascinating community if there were charting tools. That's not to say that these songs are bad. Again, these songs are very good, very listenable. I would not have spent this long on this game. If I did not enjoy it. I think the theming is very, very solid. I like that the background, the little particles coming across from the center of the screen are kind of on different things like It seems like the little dots are on time with the dee that was happening. I think it'd be really interesting if the background trains also synced up with the synth pads. The you know? I think that'd be very interesting to add as a background detail. I don't know, I'm full of like, what would I do tonight about this game? I think there's just something about this game. It's very charming, but it feels like there is so much room for more that I feel like I have to pencil in more. Tell you what, I'm gonna look at the page for this game real quick, because I'm curious if there's some details I'm missing. 3 different modes, 4 different tracks, keeps track of high scores between play sessions. This project may receive updates in the near future with more songs, more polished, maybe even new modes. Oh, fair enough. So this could be getting more polish. So feel free to take my ideas on how to improve this game, because I really like the concept here. It's very nice, it's very pleasant. Let's play this. I played a lot of this chart, so let's play this chart again. And again, I'm playing on easy. You know, I have a lot to say, but I'm also not, you know, 1,000,000,000% good at this game. Also, a little visual detail, I would appreciate some kind of spinner or the loader. miss notes in that corner. I just passed the top right corner. I don't know if that's just me. That might be just me, because now I'm paying attention to that spot, because I've been missing notes there, and now I'm fine. But like I said, this game, I'm glad that they said they have more planned for this game, because it's there's a lot to work with here. Let's just work our way back around the horn here on pickup mode. I know I said I did Brooklyn Bridge a lot, so I didn't particularly want to do it, but we'll do it once more, just for fun. And I'll have very little to say so you can hear the track. See one more time. Clam up again so we can hear the track, because these tracks are really good. to Flatbush Avenue one more time, and then I think I'm gonna call it a night. I know it's a little early, but it's one of them. But this game was really... Sorry, I keep looking over because chat's over there. This game was really, really fun. I really liked it. Nice, new high score. That's a great note to end on. Alright, so that was Our Line After Dark. Really some fantastic concepts on this one. Let me go grab the page for you so you can also acquire this game. And I will read it out for those of you who can't see the chat. Let's switch to the IRL stream layout because it's just me now. There's no need for anything else. So, you can find this game at miles-logan.itch.io/r-line-after-dark. And in case that wasn't confusing enough, let me move this. Actually, there's some things broken visually on the screen. That's not supposed to happen. You need to be lower on the screen. Thank you. Once again, that is miles-logan.itch.io/r-line, the word line, dash, after-dark. I really liked this game. How much does it normally run, people? Does that say? It's a name your own price, so you can snag it for probably anything above a reasonable minimum. Very, very good. Enjoyed it quite a bit. The devs listed on here are Miles Rosenthal, Geneva Hayward, and Eric Luo. I'm probably saying at least one of those wrong. Miles Logan, I'm looking at games available on this page. Oh, this was for a game development class. Oh, this was for a game dev class. That's really fun. No wonder this was like such a great little concept. What about Geneva? They done anything I've played yet? Nothing yet. Looks like some fun concepts in here, though. Or maybe I have played some of these. Who knows? There's a lot here. A lot of little browser games, which I'm always here for. Eric Luo, have you done anything I've done? Oh, that's somebody's Instagram page. Well, oh, okay, well, I really liked that game. Like I said, I think it could benefit, from a lot of little polish changes. Fixing that visual bug in the menus would be really appreciated. Um, it's not enough to actually break anything, but it'd be nice to have fixed. Additional songs, additional charts, or a chart generator would be really, really appreciated. Maybe clean up something with that right hand corner. Oh, my camera's inverted. The right hand corner over here. Um, I tended to miss notes there. Maybe that's just me. I mean, maybe I just got to pay a little more attention. Um, like I said, a custom chart generator would take that really far. I think that the subway line theming is very, very strong throughout. Um, I really liked that. It kind of has that going on with the subway lines in the background and the circular subway line in the middle, and like the little starfish looking things on the results screen to kind of evoke a bus seat or a subway seat. Very nice. And like all of the music tracks involved are really good. Um, like I said, maybe some audio feedback to go with the visual feedback on those notes, because the visual feedback is very clear. I can see what I'm getting each note each time. Having maybe a specific hit sound for each type of note would be really nice. Uh, that might be a little difficult to get to blend audibly with the song and still be readable, but it I get the sense it's feasible. Um, do I have any more notes on this game? It was fun. It was really fun. I just spent. Let me open the launcher here because my launcher for these games actually tells me how long I've been playing them. Uh, if I look in my library of installed items here, it says I have been playing Our Line After Dark for how long? It doesn't say. It says I've played about an hour, if not more. I just play like an hour and a half of that of just those four charts, and those are really good. So there's a really fantastic base to a game here, and I think it could be expanded into something really, really fantastic. Uh, Also, I'm looking behind me like, what's in shot here? It's kind of a disaster in here. It's not normally this bad. I was just Oh, that's a blanket. We're fine. I had to move everything from the RV back in here. Because the RV transmission, for those of you who don't know, I live in an RV practically all but 2 months of the year. Um, well, I live in an RV that isn't where I am 2 months out of the year, but 2 months out of the year I stay here for the holidays. And I was driving back for the holidays before Thanksgiving. I was leaving San Francisco to go to here for a little while, and then up to Lake Geneva, and then back here for Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. But on the way, I had some transmission trouble and got stuck in Reno for a month handling that. And then I got it here, and according to the mechanic I got it from, or the mechanic who got me back on the road, there's still a lingering error code that I need to get addressed. So I had to move back in here to get it fixed because I can't live in the house while it's in the shop. So prepare yourselves for more of this for a while, a little while at least. Oh, also, let me look at a calendar because some of those things I can do not here, and some of them I cannot. While I'm at it, talking about scheduling. Okay, yeah. Next week will be perfectly fine. We'll probably stick to Thursday for a few days. We'll do 4 Thursdays, let's say, because we gave one shot 4 Thursdays. Uh, so next Thursday is next Thursday is next Thursday. Uh, is another game. I'll pick one out of the pile. Maybe I'll even look for one while I'm talking about scheduling. Tomorrow, more Crystal Age on paper cuts. Always very exciting. I've been really enjoying a Crystal Age, seeing where it goes. Wow, that has a dramatic effect on my life. Tomorrow, Paper Cuts a Crystal Age. Next Thursday, I'm so tempted to play more Heavy Bullets. Heavy Bullets is so good. Uh, what else? What else could we play? There's some other stuff in here that looked really fun. Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to break out the table cam and play another tabletop RPG because that's kind of it's a mood I've been in lately. Tell you what, I'm gonna say that we are gonna play another tabletop RPG next week. Yes, we're gonna play another tabletop RPG next week. On Thursday, this time next week, and then Friday of next week is another Paper Cuts, and then the week after that, the 29th and the 30th, I will be out of town. So no streams on those days. Uh, Maybe Paper Cuts on the 30th. We'll see. Actually, I'm not gonna bring my equipment out of town while I'm there. So yeah, no Paper Cuts on the 30th. And then that will extend through the 5th and the 6th. So after the 23rd, next Friday, I'll be back on the 12th of January, stream wise. So I wanted to make that obvious. I'll post this all somewhere so you don't have to frantically write it down. But I wanted to make that. I wanted to announce as much of that as possible. Uh, anyway, tune in tomorrow for Paper Cuts. I think A Crystal Age has been really good. I've been really enjoying it. I've left VODs on so you can catch up a little easier with Paper Cuts because I know the Paper Cuts videos, they're a little behind. They're still on Dracula. Speaking of, January 10th will be the Dracula finale on the Paper Cuts podcast feed. So keep one ear out for that. I really like how that whole series of Dracula came together. Um, Anything else? I don't think there's anything else. Uh, oh, uh, Codex is doing a Christmas thing. They'll announce it, I assume. And if they don't, I'll announce it a little closer to the 20. I'll announce it a little closer to the 24th and 25th. Uh, anyway, this game was really good. I really liked it. Feel free to tune in next week, or come tune in tomorrow for Paper Cuts, and we'll tune in next week for a new game this same time. Have a great week.